Good afternoon. It's Johnny O with Overtime with Jared P. and Johnny O show, but it's just me today. I found I needed to say a few words about Jalen Hurts. You know I'm a big Eagles fan, but it's time to get these talking heads that we listened to all this past year. It's time for them to listen and get this straight. This dude can play football, okay? And he is a true quarterback. Let me give you a couple quick stats, and I won't be long here. His college record as a football player, as a quarterback, 51-5. The last three seasons in the NFL, three straight 10-2 records out of the gate. Beginning of the season, three straight years, 10-2 right out of the gate. And of course, a couple years ago, he was in the Super Bowl. And by the way, he's in the Super Bowl again this year. Let me just go over a couple things. I believe 2018 was his most special and best year. And you might think 2018, he was with Alabama, but he got benched that whole year. Yes, he did. 2016, as a freshman, had a nice season, 2,800 yards, 23 touchdowns, passing, 954 yards rushing, 13 touchdowns. 36 touchdowns he accumulated that his rookie year, his freshman year. 2017, a modest 2,100 yards passing, but 17 touchdowns and one interception. Starting to sound familiar on what he's doing in the NFL. 17 touchdowns, one interception. Got benched in that championship game, if you remember. They did win the championship. Tua came in and did a hell of a job. And Alabama was crowned the king. 2018, Tua's going to get the job. Jalen still comes back to Alabama. He didn't transfer. He didn't go, he battled, thinking that he deserved to be in there and would help in any way he could. Nothing but class that entire 2018 season. He sat out the whole season until the SEC championship game. Tua gets hurt. Nick Saban, Jalen, get in there. We're down 28-14 to Georgia in the SEC championship game. He goes in. What did he do? They won 35-28. He went 7 for 9 in passing, 82 yards, threw a touchdown pass, led his team, ran for another touchdown, and led his team to that victory over Georgia in the SEC championship game, 35-28, after being down 28-14, and Tua went out. That is a special year for me as a Jalen Hurts fan, because I said, how about this classy kid on the sidelines waiting for his turn after having two terrific seasons at Alabama at quarterback, and he's sitting there behind Tua, just waiting his turn, and he definitely came through in that SEC championship. Now, after that year, he decides, you know what? I'm going to transfer, not a bad idea, and go to Oklahoma for my senior season. He goes to Oklahoma, 2019. This is all he did. He was benched in 18, remember. Throws for 3,900 yards, 32 touchdown passes, threw at a 70% clip. Here's the kicker. Not only did he throw for 3,900 yards, he ran for 1,300 yards. Yes, 1,300 yards rushing for 20 touchdowns. Rushed for 20 touchdowns. Count them, 32 touchdown passes, and he also ran for 20. He accounted for 52 touchdowns in 2019 for the Oklahoma Sooners. And here's even something that I saw that really just threw me off, how great this kid is. He also had 2 receptions that year for 25 yards. I have no idea what that was. I mean, obviously it was some trick play, but 2 receptions for 25 yards. Came in second in the Heisman Trophy voting that year. This kid was special right from the start, okay? But that to transfer to Oklahoma and to have a season like that and accumulate 52 touchdowns and be, second in the Heisman Trophy voting. I mean, he did exactly what he had to do for himself. He knew what kind of player he is or was then, and now he is. And he did all the right things. Class act. Okay. Now he goes to the Philadelphia Eagles. Oh, thank you. Thank you for sending him to the Eagles. Had a decent little rookie year, 6 touchdown passes, threw for 1,100 yards, ran for 3. He was kind of in and out that rookie season. 2021, his second year, 3,200 yards passing, 16 touchdowns. Also ran for about 800 yards with 10 more touchdowns. They're starting to feel that Jalen is maybe an NFL quarterback. His third year, 2022, just a couple years ago, 3,700 yards passing, 22 touchdowns, 760 yards rushing, 13 touchdowns, a quick 35 touchdowns that he accumulated in that Super Bowl run. He made it to the Super Bowl his third year with the Philadelphia Eagles. They got beat by the almighty Kansas City Chiefs, 38-35, another 3-point loss, in the Super Bowl, or a 3-point win for the Kansas City Chiefs. But Jalen showed up that game, 300 yards passing, threw for a touchdown, and ran for 3 touchdowns in the Super Bowl, his third year in the NFL. Excuse me. This dude is special. Last year, kind of injury riddled, started off good, and then we all know what happened last year. Their last 6 or 7 games were awful. We still threw for 23 touchdowns, but 15 interceptions. Totally not his type of thing. You could tell he was injured if he's making mistakes like that. Ran for a quick 600 yards, 15 touchdown rushes. So 30 touchdowns last year. I mean, it was a bad year, and it was any other quarterback probably would take that any day. Okay. This year, oh my God, everyone's saying, he's not that NFL quarterback, blah, blah, blah. I mean, the Eagles have the greatest running back in the game right now. So they kind of, Jalen just goes with the flow. What's it going to take to win football games? So this year, all he's done, and he sat out a couple of games with that concussion, just like 3,000 yards passing. Oh, the passing game is awful. 18 touchdown passes, 5 interceptions, repeat 5, all season long, no turnovers. That's why the Eagles are going to the Super Bowl. He also ran for a quick 630 yards, another 14 touchdowns. Again, over 30 touchdowns he accumulated over the season. And they're going to the Super Bowl. And then everyone's saying, well, it's all Saquon. And it is. Trust me, Saquon running and the defense and all that great stuff. I mean, with him having that running game, it opens up all the other great stuff that the Eagles have. And boy, do they have all aspects of the game to the T right now. But they're going to the Super Bowl. And all Jalen did in that game was, the team put up 55 points. And he threw for 250 yards, threw for a touchdown, and ran for 3 touchdowns. A couple of the Philly push and all that kind of good stuff. But he dominated that game. Saquon did what he had to do. A.J. Brown did, he lit it up, caught the passes instead of a couple drops last week that, a lot of people weren't mentioning on that. But A.J., Jalen was throwing peas. He can pass the ball, people. He's an all-around great quarterback. He's going to the Super Bowl. In 2 weeks, we'll find out if he can beat the almighty Pat Mahomes. I mean, he is he's the guy right now. But I got an awful good feeling that this is the Eagles' season. The Eagles, this is their way. This is revenge for them. And if Jalen and all the other parts of this Eagle team, the defense and the running game and the passing game and the special teams and getting turnovers and not giving turnovers, it's our year. But I needed to say a little something, a little 10-minute dissertation on Jalen Hurts. He is one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL right now. And all he does is win. Thank you. Fly, Eagles, fly.